Yo guys, welcome back to another video. FX here. It's another weekend, man. So we basically gonna be setting out our forecast. So I'll be providing my upcoming week forecast for what I'm personally expecting or looking for in price. Based on bias and the types of setups that I'll be looking to take for the coming week. I pretty much am gonna be doing this every weekend, pretty much on between Saturday and Sunday, just when the markets close, because like that's pretty much the most systematic way to do it for me that I found. Right. So first of all, before I analyze or come to a bias with any symbol or pair that I am trading, whether it being S&P 500, Nasdaq, or Euro USD or GBP USD, right? First we identify the dollar index or the DXY, right? In other words, it's heavily correlated with the symbols. So when it's indicating some form of bullish price, I'll be looking to take bearish trades on features and Forex, and vice versa. If USDX is bearish, I'll be looking to take bullish trades on features and Forex, right? So first thing we are able to identify here is that the dollar index, right? I set up my bias based on the fact that we are in a higher time frame period, right? So let's just go into our charts. But in short description, USD bias is bearish. Targets will be the 1 week fair value gap, BZ, right? Buy side imbalance, sell side insufficiency, and the 1 day order block, which is pretty much, I believe, within the 1 week fair value gap, right? In other words, we will not be looking to take any bullish trades on DXY when we have our bias set bearish, right? So now let's get into that. Okay, right now going into the dollar index, I'll be going into the 1 minute time frame, just vividly explaining my expectation for why I'm looking for price to be pretty much bearish for the dollar index, right? We recently just came off a weekly order block. If you were to pay attention, is that price just managed to pretty much hit the order block range, right? The bearish order block and close below it, indicating that price is pretty much respecting bearish structure. So overall, our bias is set to be bearish, because if you were to pay attention in recent price, as price is pretty much moving bearish, it's respecting PDRAs that are supporting bearish structure, right? For example, this reversal right here managed to respect this order block right here, if you're to pay attention, right? So I identified 3 key zones within our 1 week time frame, right? The current order block, in which we're using as resistance to support us taking bearish trades, and our first initial target will be pretty much the 1 week fair value gap, right? The 1 week fair value gap going straight down to sell side right here, right? Now going into the daily time frame with the dollar index, if you were to pay attention, we've got a fair value gap that was just, or is just, within the 1 week order block range, right? So this is pretty much 2 supporting components for why we should be expecting price to be moving bearish, right? And pretty much our current draw on liquidity is pretty much the 1 week fair value gap, and what's within it would be the daily order block high, which is this down close, the lowest down close candle within this range, right? So I'm looking to see if price is gonna gravitate down, targeting pretty much this order block zone right here. So pretty much overall on DXY, until we reach this zone right here, I'll be looking to be taking bearish setups, right? Because right now we're extremely within a premium zone, or we just came from a premium zone targeting this counter raise, which is pretty much within the equilibrium range, I believe, right? So yeah, it's just below the equilibrium. So this is a pretty much a high probability draw on liquidity, right, if you're to pay attention. So moving from the dollar index, right, I'll be beginning with features and then moving down into Forex, right. Our first pair, or our first symbol within the features zone, is S&P 500, right. So since we are looking for bearish price within the dollar index, right, we'll be pretty much looking for supporting factors for pretty much the S&P 500. So in other words, I'm pretty much bullish on S&P 500, right? And our targets will be the 1 week order block to be filled, right? So I'm expecting price to pretty much react of this 3 key zones right here. We've got the weekly fair value gap, or let me just explain this within a clear chart. Okay, right now we're on S&P 500 on the weekly time frame, right? First thing I was able to identify is we just recently we pretty much from last week and the previous week, right, we were pretty much targeting this order block right here, which is the highest up candle within a bullish trend, I guess. So price just managed to pretty much respect it and used it as pretty much resistance to be drawing price bearish, right? So overall, I would pretty much say our pretty much trend direction is bullish on S&P 500, right? So as you can see, they on the weekly time frame, there's pretty much no indicating factors that we are pretty much bearish, right? So this was pretty much the 1 month order block was pretty much a supporting factor for this potential retracement that we are currently in, right? Just to pretty much push or support price moving higher, right? So on the weekly time frame, first thing I'm able to identify is the 1 week fair value gap right here, BZ, buy side imbalance, sell side insufficiencies, right? So I'm looking to see if price is going to respect this key zone right here, preferably the just move this, preferably the midpoint of this weekly fair value gap, right? So I'm looking to see if I'm not expecting price to close below on the weekly time frame. I'm not expecting price to close below the fair value gap low, right? So the lowest I'm allowing price to pretty much go with my bias for me to stay bullish on S&P 500, right, would be pretty much the midpoint of the weekly order block, right? So like now, let's going into the daily time frame. We're looking for supporting factors that will help us support price moving bullish, right? Let me just do this. Sorry. Okay, it's fine. Currently on S&P 500 on the daily time frame, we are just within the 1 day fair value gap, right? So I'm expecting or looking to see if price is gonna respect pretty much, in simple terms, right, within this zones right here, right? For example, this order block right here, we've got this imbalance right here, this fair value gap right here, and then right here, let me just remove this. Right here, we've got this inverted fair value gap, right? So pretty much this are our supporting factors for price moving bullish. In other words, I'll only be looking to use this PD arrays as supporting factors for why price should be moving bullish, right? So I'll be only taking bullish trades within the discount zones of each one of this PD arrays, right? For example, right now on the current one, which is the daily fair value gap, the one that price just recently managed to pierce through, right, or hit or touch. Going into the 4-hour time frame, we've got sell side right here. If it's not as clear, I would pretty much go into a smaller time frame. Let's see what's happening on the 15-minute. On the 15-minute time frame, right? We've got sell side that was just hit. Pretty much this is our first step into us expecting bullish price, right? Sell side was just violated. Our 1 day order block, 1 day fair value gap was just hit or touched by price on the 15-minute time frame. So right now I'll be looking to see if price is going to indicate some form of displacement driving price higher, and my first initial target on S&P 500 will be pretty much the previous day high, right, which is Friday's high, and the regular trading hour gap above, right, because we got electronic trading hours, which is the full 24-hour range of price movement, and the regular trading is from 9:30 to pretty much 4 p.m. New York time, right? So I'll be using the supporting factors for why price should be, or why we're expecting price to pretty much reach this zones of insufficiencies and draws on liquidity. On US 30, we're pretty much looking for the same thing, supporting factors of why we should be bullish on US 30 since the dollar index is bearish, right? Currently, I'm regarding this whole range right here as some form of manipulation. Accumulation is our range, manipulation, and this PDRAs, right, I'll be utilizing as supporting factors for clear distribution to the upside, right? So on US 30, our bias is bullish, but we're currently in a retracement. This is our manipulation price rally, right? We are pretty much currently within the 1 week fair value gap, right? So we'll be looking to see if price is gonna be targeting the 1 day fair value gap that's within the weekly fair value gap, right? So we'll be pretty much looking for only bullish setups within this PDRA, if that makes any sense. Okay, now we are currently on US 30 on the weekly time frame, right? So we pretty much have this fair value gap right here. Let me just make it a bit more clear. We pretty much have this fair value gap right here, and if you're to pay attention, price, as noisy as it may look, is pretty much within a bullish rally, whereby we are overall our price bias is bullish, right? My first indication for why price is pretty much bullish, right, would be the supporting fair value gap right here, which managed to influence price moving bullish, and pretty much within this low right here, just pay attention to where price reacted off, right? We've got a fair value gap right here, violation of sell side, hitting the fair value gap to move bullish. Same here. And right here, if you're to pay attention, price was just pretty much respecting this order blocks right here, or down close candles in simple terms. But for now, we are pretty much identifying this fair value gap, the 1 week fair value gap zone, right, as our insufficient zone in which it's gonna help us support our bullish bias. So like now, going into the daily time frame, within this the 1 week fair value gap range, right, we have a clear as daylight fair value gap, right? Busy, buy side imbalance, sell side insufficiency, right? So I'll be looking to see if how price reacts or gravitates within this key zone right here, right? And now if I'm to scale down into a lower time frame, like the 15 minutes, I'm able to identify pretty much regular trading hours, this insufficient gap right here, right? So, and we just violated sell side right there, right? Let me just say sell side. just violated sell side, and pretty much our target is the previous day high and the regular trading hours gap range, right? So overall, from pretty much our London session all the way to our PM trend on US 30, we'll be looking to take bullish trades, right? So pretty much the same as we're expecting on S&P 500. We're expecting US 30 to pretty much give us supporting factors in which and why price should be bullish, if that makes any sense, right? Preferably, I'll be looking to see if price is gonna respect this this gap right here, because I know we tend to expect gaps to be filled, right? So preferably, I'd expect price to fill this gap bearish, targeting this insufficiency right here, just to pretty much fill this liquidity range right here, if that makes any sense. Now, going into NASDAQ, same as the other features, we have a bullish bias, currently in a retracement, this down rally, pretty much. So with this one, right, we will be looking to see if price is going to react within the current one-day fair value gap or the one-day implied fair value gap, which is this one below, and preferably the 1 week time frame, week CE 50% range, right? So right now we are pretty much on NASDAQ on the weekly time frame, right? First thing I'm able to identify would be pretty much this 1 week order block right here, this 1 week fair value gap right here, which has just been filled within the previous week, right? And then we have this week right here, it's 50% range, right? So like now, these are like the 1 week CE 50% of this week. I'll be looking to see how price is gonna react within this key zone right here, if it's gonna be looking to push price bullish, and the lowest point in which my bias will stay bullish, right, will be within this 1 week order block range, right? Preferably the min threshold, which is 50% of down close candles, right, of this candle. Going into the daily time frame, right, on NASDAQ, within that 1 week fair value gap range, we are also within the 1 day fair value gap, right? So I managed to mark out the high, the low, and the midpoint of this fair value gap, right? So we have three key zones in which we'll be expecting price to pretty much move bullish, if that makes any sense, like this, moving bullish. The first one would be the 50% zone of this fair value gap, 50% of the week, and the lowest point would be this inverted fair value gap right here. So if price manages to violate or close below this implied fair value gap, I'll look to see if sell side will support price moving bullish, because we have an order block just below it, and if not, this one right here. So I'll be pretty much turning bearish to target the short-term draw on liquidity or retracements, if that makes any sense, right? So like now, going into the 15-minute time frame, right, it's pretty much the same as what we are looking for on US 30 and S&P 500, right? We have sell side residing below here, and price just managed to hit it, right? We have the previous day high, right, which is pretty much, if we're bullish, will be pretty much highest probability draw on liquidity. We have a regular trading hour gap right here, and we have pretty much this breaker right here. So I'll be looking to see if price is gonna violate or target this previous day high, buy side, and this breaker, because pretty much anything above the breaker tends to become low probability, because when price creates a breaker, we expect price to not fill any forms of insufficiencies above it, if that makes any sense, right? So pretty much, if we are gonna be looking for price to react here, we'll be looking for price to pretty much move bullish, violating buy side, and seeing if price is gonna respect this gap, this breaker, and this potential fair value gap here. And then now let's go into electronic trading hours. We have buy side. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. With an order block just right here above. So we'll be looking to see if price is gonna look to target this order block right here. But right now, our overall bias is set to be bullish. So we will be looking to take bullish trades, and depending on your character, or your personality, or my personality per se, I tend to wait for the highest probability setups, right? So I'm regarding any forms of bearish retracements as low probability trades for me, if that makes any sense. So if price manages to dip going down, right, I'm not going to be taking any trades until I have a clear indication or clear bias in which indicates that price is pretty much bearish, if that makes any sense, right? So now we are on Euro USD, right? Our bias is bullish, pretty much the same as the other symbols, and bearish on dollar index, right? So pretty much anything that's correlated with the USD index, right, we'll be looking to take trades going the opposite direction, right? So on Euro USD, bias is bullish. We'll be looking to see price reach buy side, which is here, and the 4-hour fair value gap within the 1-day order block, right? So we have this 4-hour fair value gap, and within it on the high time frame is an order block, if that makes any sense. So like now let's go into our charts. So currently we are on the Euro USD, right? We're on the weekly time frame. If you have to pay attention, price just managed to hit the 1 week order block, right? And it's currently moving bullish. Overall trend direction is pretty much bullish, and we can see that by supporting factors within price that indicates or supports price moving bullish. First indication would be this order block right here, which managed to drive price bullish, right? Pretty much, if my bias, there's a lot of factors that actually come into bias, right? And I tend to not pick highs and lows when trying to trade. In other words, I pretty much do not look for reversals on lower time frames that will go against high time frame direction, right? So if the weekly is bullish, even if I'm executing a trade on the 1 minute, I'll be looking for price to be bullish, if that makes any sense. Simple terms, rules are rules. So yeah, on the weekly time frame, we have this 1 week order block, right? Scaling down into the daily, within the same zone, right here, we have the 1-day fair value gap. And if that didn't make sense, let me just do it like this. We have this 1 week order block right here, right? Let's just enable it like this. Okay, now going into the 1-day time frame, within this 1 week order block, we have this 1-day fair value gap, right, which is just right here. And looking at price just managed to respect it and used it as support to push price bullish, right? And pretty much my target is the 1-day order block, which is above. This is pretty much my draw on liquidity, right? In other words, this is where I'm looking to take price to when I'm executing trades, if that makes any sense. I'll be only taking buy trades until I've reached this PDRA, right? Now going into the 4-hour time frame, 4 hours. Now going into the 4-hour time frame, just within the daily order block, right? Let me do it like this. Just within the daily order block, we have, let me just hide this. Okay. Just within the daily order block, we have fair value gap right here, right? We have a fair value gap right here, a 4-hour fair value gap. We have buy side here, and we have 4-hour fair value gap right here and one right here. So I'll be looking to see and use this two fair value gap, these two bearish fair value gaps right here to target these key zones above. My first target would be buy side here, and this fair value gap above, if that makes any sense. So until price reaches this zone right here, I'll continue to remain bullish, and my bias is gonna stay the same unless we violate this propulsion block right here, which is an order block that closes above the previous order block. It doesn't close below 50% of that order block, if that makes any sense. In simple terms, we have this lowest down close candle, which is regarded as an order block, right? So when price gravitates down, right, and doesn't close between the mean threshold, right, this order block becomes a propulsion block, if that makes any sense. Tongue twisters. Yeah, so Euro USD overall price, we are bullish. Keywords right here. We'll be looking to see if price is gonna react off this zones right here, right? I'll be identifying this as sell side. Simple terms. Let's see, this could be a potential setup for Monday, right? Sell side, sorry. Sell side liquidity, right? Within this 15-minute zone right here. So I'll be looking to see price pretty much go bullish, right? And if price doesn't violate this low, then I'll be looking for some form of an SMT divergence, which is on GBP USD, right? So if you pay attention, GBP USD violated this low right here. Let me just even mark this out like this. SMT divergence, right? Put in the midpoint like that, right? So we have an SMT divergence right here, right? So on Monday I might be expecting or looking to see if price is gonna pretty much gravitate bullish, targeting the previous day high right here, because if you can see, prices managed to hit the high time frame 50 gap on GU, right? So on EU we have something like this, which is SMT divergence, right? Right, so if I'm able to see some form of displacement with this within the zone right here, I'll take it, you know. I'll be looking to execute trades, but still yet to see, because the new day is just a few more hours away, right? And this pattern might not even form within might not even form Monday, if that makes any sense, right? But yeah, right now we're gonna be going into GU. Might as well. GU on the weekly, same as all the other factors, all the other symbols, we are bullish on it, right? If you pay attention to it on the weekly time frame, we just managed to hit this weekly fair value gap right here, passing through this order block range right here, right? So pretty much our bias is bullish, or this is the first step or the first indication in which tells us that GBP USD is bullish, if that makes any sense. Now going into the daily time frame, right? Within that weekly fair value gap, price managed to violate sell side right here, targeting the lowest down candle in a down range, right? In a selling range. That makes any sense. Price managed to hit this order block right here, and now this is a form of indication that tells me the price is bullish, and my first target would be the previous day high, which is pretty much this candle right here, and the 1 day fair value gap above, right? So I'm expecting price, or looking to see price potentially reach this fair value gap zone right here, which is also supported by this other block right here, right? So like now let's go into the 4-hour time frame and see how price looks within there. Within the 4-hour range, let me just place this on a lower time frame, right? I'll set it out like this. Within the 4-hour time frame, we have buy side, which is our draw on liquidity, and we have the 1-day fair value gap above, right? So I'll be looking to take buy trades all the way going up to this key zone right here, right? We have this 4-hour fair value gap right here, right? So price just recently respected this key zone right here, and I'll be pretty much looking to take bullish trades, and I'm not expecting price to close below this fair value gap, right? And I'm also using this inverted fair value gap range right here as form of support to be driving price bullish. That makes any sense? Now going into the 15-minute time frame, right? We have the SMT divergence that we just found with the correlation of GBP USD and Euro USD, right? So GU managed to violate sell side right here like this. Let me just mark it like this. Sell side liquidity, right? Yeah, so we'll just pretty much be looking to see how price reacts within the zones right here. And yeah, if you found this video insightful or helpful within your trading, then be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe and do all those fancy things. And yeah, hope everybody stays safe.